So the other week we got this bike to fire up off of some fire sauce. And look, I'm not gonna lie, that wasn't completely satisfying. And I kind of come to like this bike. So what I did is I ordered some tubes and tires and carburetor parts and a couple other little doodads and things. And I am actually gonna get this bike up and going, make it a running, riding bike, so that I can use it as maybe a pit bike for this thing I like to go to in July in Ohio, because I got some ideas. Okay, step one, I'm gonna hit it with a pressure washer and get it cleaner. Here we go. Get some soapy water. There we go. All right, now the fun part, actually washing the bike. Just go to your local store and buy all the toilet brushes they have. Sorry, Dan, I should have got you a scrub brush.
Yeah, we could have been done by now.
It wouldn't have been any cleaner, but it would have been done, right? See if this helps. Kind of satisfying to watch it foam.
'Tis the season.
Foamy season.
Yep.
Well, we're waiting on that for a few minutes. Look at this. This is actually cleaning up pretty nice. It's pretty impressive. Well, what do you think? Yeah, definitely better. Tires are still flat though.
No amount of cleaning is going to change that. Who needs an air compressor?
There we go, nailed it. Guaranteed my chiropractor sees that, he's gonna go boat shopping. So let me remind you guys, I bought this bike at the auction. It was sitting in the parts row. It looked complete. The engine happened to be free. I paid $120 for it. We brought it home to the shop here. We weren't quite set up with everything, but we got spark. We actually got the electric start to run, and we got the bike to fire up a little bit off of starting fluid. It's not bad for a $120 investment. Now, the next step is to kind of go through it a little bit and get it running good and in the spot where we can actually ride it and have some fun. Okay, we need to pull the seat back off. Let's look in this tank. This has a coat of, I think it's cream, but look inside, it's all peeling off. We're gonna get this tank prepped, and then we're gonna actually end up sealing it with the Caswell epoxy. And that should give us a nice clean inside, and that'll take care of the tank. And I also have tubes and tires. So I think what I'm gonna do here quick is pull the front and rear tire so I can get them cleaned up a little bit. We're gonna get tubes and tires on, and then we have a bike that will at least push around. We're gonna have to evacuate this mouse nest here, Dan. And we didn't open up the air box last time. Let's see what we got in there. It's got holes in it, that's no good.
Wash it off, patch it up, it'll be fine.
That's right. Where was I though? Tubes and tires. Okay, Dan, you ready to lift?
I'm lifting?
Yep. All right.
How's that?
Perfect. There we go. Rear wheel. Well, you never want to hammer on the threads of an axle, so I put the nut back on and you set the nut flush, and then you hit the nut so you don't damage your threads. All right, now we got 2 tires that we can replace. This is a common problem on these bikes. Let me show you this setup. Okay, so this is the brake switch here. So when your brake lever is pulled, this is what actually will actuate your rear brake light. These wires, originally I thought were kill switch wires. They're not. They go up here to the brake light switch. You have a rear brake light switch down here, right here. That's what these wires are for. When you pull on this, it pulls this little spring. Anyway, here's the deal up here. The switch housing is all cast aluminum. And on this one here, it gives you a mirror mount, gives you turn signals, and a start button. And this perch and the switch housing is all one piece. Guess what happens the first time you fall over on your motorcycle? This breaks off. So these are very, very hard to find. All I'm gonna do is get a clamp perch to mount here and a new brake lever, and it's gonna mount here, and we're gonna call it a day. Now, we're gonna take off a couple little things here. I'm gonna start with the exhaust. I'm gonna pull the carburetor so I can get the carburetor soaking. What'd you say, Dan? Good plan, bad plan?
Yeah, it's great. Great plan.
Okay.
The best plan. I was paying attention to what you said.
Somehow feel like you're lying now. So we know we need to get into here so we can get our carburetor out. I love these screwdrivers.
Yeah, you prefer JIS over Phillips?
Mm-hmm. Especially when I'm working with JIS hardware.
What if you're working with flathead bolts?
And I'm not having a good day. There it goes. That's a bummer. That is, that's broken.
Oh.
That's from the brake lever getting mashed into there. So if you own one of these bikes, you always want to crash it to the left side. Because if you crash it to the right side, you break that cover and you break your brake off.
Controlled crash.
Okay, so we're gonna pull this apart too. We're also gonna need to get rid of any leaks in this oil pump and some of them hard lines. Fuel lines and oil lines are hard as rocks. So there is a good chance that the clutch is gonna be stuck. That would be neat. Well, there's a good chance though too it's not, so. Once we get the rear tire on there, we're gonna have to figure that out tomorrow, remind me.
Figure it out tomorrow, Craig.
I don't know what we do to clean it up more.
Let's focus on getting it running first, or moving.
No fun, Dan. That's why we call him No Fun Dan. Dan's like, I've been doing this long enough with you. I know you're gonna lose interest by Wednesday. Dan! Tires and wheels are here.
Nice!
Done. Did them. Done did them last night. So we got those. Those are gonna go on. The other thing I did last night was I cleaned this up a little bit. Up top here,
looks real
I
party.
evicted the mouses, the meese, they're gone. Okay, we need to address this fuel tank because we have that liner on the inside that's flaking off, and that's no bueno. So I found some Caswell tank stripper, and then I got the epoxy tank sealer. Matt Walksler down at Wheels Through Time swears by that stuff. Never tried it, but it can't hurt to try it. I heard it's good, so we're gonna try it. We gotta seal up this tank. And then my plan is we're gonna put this in, just kind of move the tank around, check it every little bit, see what's happening. Right, that shouldn't leak. Famous last words.
How long does the stripper need to work?
Till it can afford college.
Thanks, Craig.
It says 2 hours to overnight, depending on coating thickness.
Oh, good.
News is, ours isn't very thick. Now, I am a little concerned. We're gonna have to keep an eye on this. A lot of these old Yamaha tanks are known for down here behind the seat in this area, right in here. They get pinholes. And I'm seeing some tank sealer in this area. Like maybe it ran out when they were, yeah, see, look at that. That looks like a hole in the tank.
Oh, good.
So we're gonna have to keep an eye on that, and if we start seeing it dripping, we'll just address that when we need to. Now, yours,
Spruce?
Spruce,
Spruce.
you are supposed to protect your paint. What if we did something like that? And now we wait. Are we leaking? A little bit, see?
Uh-oh.
Where's that coming from?
I saw it dripping from both sides.
Yeah, so we got pinholes.
It's quite a bit, too.
If we set it up like this a little bit, we'll work at getting, I don't know, kind of from them pinholes up this way, stripped off. All right, well, that's chooching. Let's put some wheels and tires on.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, then we can get it off the wash bucket and box. Whee! And then the heat kicks on, beanie comes off, pants come up, cafefe gets drank. Let's go. Do, 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 do. Okay, let's give this axle a quick clean. gonna be the shiniest piece on this bike. Oh, I tell you what, while we have these off, let's give that a clean. Oh, look, is that a, what did I find? Another mud dauber. Was that a peanut? Nope, it's a mud dauber. Thought I found a peanut.
I don't know what you would have done differently with a peanut.
Well, 100% you should need a mud dauber's nest.
But you're gonna eat a peanut that you find on a bike.
There's a better chance. Only a weirdo would eat a mud dauber nest.
Wow, I am not mentally accustomed to a rear wheel going on that easy.
I know, man, that was kind of a big win if you've been watching the channel for a little bit. Click. Now we hook up our brake stay. Just like so. All right, front wheel. I'll need your help. Can you move the bucket for me? Doing great, Dan.
Thanks. This is the kind of validation I need. I am filled with determination.
So you're filled with carbonation?
I hope not. You gonna clean the wheel right now? Dang it, Craig. It's gotta be clean so it can get dirty again.
All right, next I'm gonna set up the battery so that that can get ready. And you can shine a light through the case a lot of time, help confirm where the levels are. See those little bubbles? That's air trapped in between the plates of the battery. So what we're doing by allowing the battery to sit is all these air pockets are gonna work their way out. Like that's air, the light spots.
Yeah.
See, that'll work its way out, and that's what you want. That allows the plates of the battery to get good saturation, and like I said, it's gonna allow the battery to last a lot longer. Okay, so while that is sitting, hopefully the clutch is not stuck. Guess that's something we could check now if we wanted to.
Might not be a bad idea.
Okay, let's do that. I'll lift. Can you stick the bucket in for me?
You need that bucket again?
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
Ready, set, go. Alrighty. Dan, did we just buy tires where the transmission's blown out of the bike?
Wait, is that what happened?
I don't know.
Is that why it's in the parts row?
I would imagine maybe that switch isn't supposed to rotate all the way around. Just a hunch.
We probably could have figured that out when we first got the bike running.
Well, you know. So let's pull that cover and see what we see.
See if we have to order parts for the parts bike.
See if we have to order more parts for the parts bike that I just ordered parts for. Generally, those aren't loose.
Hey.
Heyo.
Held on with some extra mud. Ooh, that's not even exaggeration.
Dan, can you spin the rear wheel a little for me, please? I thought I was trying to feel for any sort of movement. So when I was asking you to spin the wheel, what I was doing was I was holding this shifter to try to get it to move in between gears. So I was doing two things at once. I was also pushing this push rod in, and I was seeing if I could feel any sort of mechanical anything on either end of this, trying to engage. And I felt a little here. There, now that should be in, it's like feels like it's in a gear. Well, here, let's go knock this stuff out of here. So what are the chances that this bike was in the parts row because it blew something in the transmission, person didn't want to fix it, and then that's why they started robbing some parts off of it? Starting to sound like that could be a thing. So are you saying my dreams of riding this, pit biking this, is going to be over? I don't want it to be over. It can't be over. Something's going to happen in this transmission. I know it. Do you feel any resistance difference or no?
No. All feels like neutral to me.
Dang. changes the scope of this project a weensy bit. Well, so here's the deal. We have to pull the carburetor off anyway. And then this is the clutches in behind here. Okay, well, guess that's where we're starting. A couple things we got to do here. One is we're going to pull the carburetor out of the way. Then we have our intake track that comes down here. It goes into this case cover. I think I have that loose. That should come off. We have our kickstarter here. That needs to come off. And I believe I can just move that foot peg out of the way enough. Same with the brake. I think we'll be okay there. We'll see. Taking this exhaust off would kind of be handy. I did have that soaking a little bit, and I did go get a torch that we can heat it up. So I don't know, should we try that first? Get it out of the way and we can see what we're doing. What do we got hanging out there? Brake lights. The brake light switch was hooked to there. Oh, interesting. Now we can take the oil tank off, get the oil tank clean. I'm not sure why I'm worried about that at the moment. The bike doesn't even have a transmission that works.
Yeah, I feel like we gotta
First thing first here.
prioritize what you're fixing here.
Well, we're gonna see. I think I now realize why it was in the parts row. If nothing else,
We're gonna find that out.
we're gonna find out what. That's not good. Did I just buy a $120 mistake? Did I get bamboozled? Seller screwed me on the $120 bike. Oh wow.
Oh, there it goes.
Well, that's water.
It's usually bad.
Generally not my favorite thing to see. That's quite a bit of water. Yep. Quite a bit of water. All right, so let's see here. Next step is we're gonna pull the carburetor off, and then I'm gonna peel off the clutch cover here. We're gonna see what's in there. Looking down in that oil fill hole, if that's any indication, this is gonna get exciting. All right, so we got fuel line. If we can pop that fuel line off, that would help. It's rock hard, so we wanna get that off and out of the way. That's not allowing us to pull the carburetor out any further. There we go. Now, come off here, carb. There we go. That's what we want. There's our oil line. So it comes out of our oil pump. This is the feed from our oil tank down behind our intake, down into here, into the oil pump. This cable is junctioned in with the throttle cable. So as we pull throttle, we're opening slide and we're moving oil pump. See that? That's opening up this passage here. This is your oil pump drive gear. So this is when the bike's running this gear, it's spinning. And then this is allowing oil to come into the line, comes in and goes directly here. This is the rotary valve. So the oil tube is actually that little brass tube you see sticking up in the center there. And then as the engine turns over, you can kind of see there's a plate in there and it has a hole in it. So as that rotates, that's what is allowing the fresh intake pulse in. It's a two-stroke. It goes into the bottom end and then comes up through. Okay, so we got the carb out of the way. I ordered some parts for the carburetor because I knew that was going to be an issue. I'm going to be a little honest, I didn't foresee this transmission issue coming. So I lay these out in order. I always start with my top left. I'll work my way around and then that keeps them in order. So if there's different lengths or whatever, it's just easier, quicker to go back together. I think we pull the foot pegs. That's gonna make our life a lot easier. There it is. That should be it on this side. What do we have on the other side? Geez, it's like whoever owned this bike didn't like people because there's a big flathead screw holding that on. They generally don't come out that easy. I don't even think those are the right threads. They just wham jam that thing in there. I wonder sometimes, Dan, why do I plague myself? We have the technology, we should use it.
That's the spirit.
All righty, and then the foot pegs come off. Look like handlebars. All right, there we go. Intake. Let's happening is I have gasket adhesion. Do you know what's crazy? Honestly, I think we're only like a bolt or two from actually just pulling the whole motor out. What's holding the motor in? I pulled that. I think maybe it's just this bolt up here. Quicker and easier to just pull the whole motor.
I don't know.
Didn't see that coming, did you?
There's a lot about today that I didn't see coming. Thought you were gonna ride this bike off into the sunset.
Oh yeah, I forgot we wrapped our 7-foot ignition coil around the... I think it's funny that I put tires on a bike that the transmission doesn't work. Time, money, well spent. It's fine, it's fine. I'm starting to get some separation because I'm seeing water dripping out. I think it's just old gasket that I'm hung up on. Oh man, there's just straight up sludge coming out of here. Neat, that's coming out of our transmission. But we got new tires.
Yeah.
There we go.
Here we go. How does it smell, Craig?
Smells like a fish tank that hasn't been cleaned in a while.
Smells like a fish tank that hasn't been cleaned in how many years?
That many years.
Ugh.
Well, at any rate, this clutch is gonna have to come apart. That's one thing I know.
So have we found the problem?
Not really.
Okay.
There's nothing on the gear shifter, like there's a bent shift fork or something. This is escalating quickly, you know it, Dan?
Well,
That collar has grooves in it so that get some oil up into there.
groovy.
Groovy. And then this gear is riding on that clutch to this gear, which is our kickstart. As you come through the kick stroke, that gear's sliding out and it starts turning. It engages this, turns the clutch, which turns your crankshaft, primary gear here, crankshaft, and that's what starts your engine. However, we right now have a motorcycle that doesn't shift. So this is the outside of our shift drum here, and this is our D10 area to help hold things in gear. And this should be moving.
So now something behind all of that is the problem.
Yeah, that is locked up tight. And we got a limited supply of pliers.
I guess we got to reach out to our suppliers.
That's supposed to move a little, and it doesn't. So let me tell you how I thought this was gonna go. Yeah, I had to do tires, tubes, tires. Gonna loop some cables, I'm gonna clean a carburetor, I'm gonna throw a battery in it. I'm gonna get the gas tank all situated so we could put gas in. I'm gonna ride this thing off into the sunset at Mid-Ohio, probably up to the burnout pit. I even ordered a whole bunch of parts are sitting over there in that box for things I thought I was gonna need. I didn't see this coming, but it's all right. We're okay, we'll figure it out. All right, Dan, so here's where I'm at.
Yes.
Yes. I think we are one bolt and a chain away from just pulling the motor.
Really?
I think so. At this point,
The whole
I think
motor.
so.
Well, we might as well. You know what they say? In for a tranny, in for the whole motor.
I got the motor out.
Did it just fall out?
Basically.
Greg, that's hideous.
Oh, there's a bunch of mouse dirt on there, that's for sure. Let's get that cleaned off. Okay, that's not all mouse. That's some sand. Sand? I wonder. Oh, Jersey. I forgot this bike came from Jersey. We're gonna put it up on the table and take it apart. It should be a little cleaner, right? All right, well, let's see why things don't work. Something sounds a little crunchy there. It feels like we have pieces inside there. So let's start pulling this motor apart and see why it was in the parts row. You know, thinking about this a little bit, this would be like a great, somebody that wants to learn how to do some of this stuff, find a bike like this at the auction like I did. Again, it cost me like 120 bucks. It's super simple. It's a super simple motor. Comes apart easy. Cylinder's a little washed out, but that'll hone in nicely, I think. Okay, so I'm putting this clutch basket back on because I need it to hold this nut here. There we got two washers. We have a wave washer and we have a thrust washer.
Oh!
Off comes that piece. We need to knock loose all these screws, and the case, the way this comes apart is you actually put a crankcase splitter on this side, puts a little tension against the crankshaft, and then we tap it loose and it pulls it off the crank. But first we're gonna get these screws all loose.
Do we have a crankcase splitter here?
No, I don't know if I have one in that bottom drawer or not. Sometimes I can get them without. Tell me these screwdrivers aren't the bomb diggity. Hey, Dan.
Hey, Craig.
At least it's got new tires.
It does have new tires, this is right.
Dan, all of this just so I can show you how a rotary valve works. Okay, so here, this is the first time we've been this far into a rotary valve. So let me show you how this works. This goes here. So our carburetor is attached to here, the backside of the carburetor. So air is coming through here, picking up the atomizing the fuel in the carburetor, coming through this intake. Our banjo bolt for the oil injection was here. That runs up this oil line right here, and it comes out on this little jet. Now here we have a seal. This disc is timed, so when the engine spins, it opens up this passage into the bottom of the motor, and then it feeds the engine up that way. It has transfer ports. So that's how it's sucking. So this is spinning really fast, and this plate is covering and then exposing. So it's sucking fuel in from here all the way around till the plate gets to there. Well, actually to there. Now it's closed off. So that's what they call rotary valve. I can pull this whole thing off. Now I think we have everything out. Means we can split the case and see what was going on inside this transmission and why this thing was a parts bike. Okay, so like I said, generally you would have a crankcase puller on here. I don't have one of those here at the moment, so I'm gonna have to get a little more creative. By creative, I mean, let me grab my hammer. Probably a little red Loctite on that.
That's a nice sizzle.
It is a nice sizzle, isn't it? Oh, dude, this here was in behind. This was where the kickstart shaft, or the kickstart sits. Hold on here, look at that.
We're just finding new grotesque surprises in this thing at every turn. How fast would this be coming apart with your engine splitter?
We'd be done by now. Yeah, I didn't realize we were gonna do all this today, or I definitely would have brought my pullers. So I ran and grabbed my pulley, my puller, so we could pull this crankcase apart here and not destroy anything.
That's all it is?
I made that.
Oh.
People say I can't fabricate. Snug those up a hair, get a little tension on it. It's good sounds. See how we're getting separation here?
Shim, shimmy, shim, shim, shimmy, shim, 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 shiroo.
Yeah, right. There's a dowel pin here in this corner. There. Yeah, I was just stuck on that pin. Okay. Liking where this is headed. There's no way we would have gotten this off without a puller.
There's no way?
No way. Jeez, still tight. There we go.
Oh, yeah.
Oh boy, we got some debris.
Jeez.
Got some debris in there.
I wonder what it was hung up on.
However, the real question is, so our shift drum was not moving. This is not moving. So this shift drum is locked up tight. We're just gonna pull this whole thing as a unit, hopefully. Come here, transmission. Aha!
Oh boy.
Gonna beat me.
That's some crunchy fun.
Okay, so this is our transmission. Here we have the shift drum. This is a shift fork, and over here we have a shift fork. Now the way this works is when you move the shifter, or we're moving the shift drum, and that shift drum is slotted in here, and it's moving these shift forks. Our shift forks ride on that, and then what they're doing is moving the sliding gears so that they can attach to the next gear. See how this one has dogs? See those shift dogs? They come in and engage into those holes.
Okay.
And now that's gonna allow this gear to spin. So this is a basic, simple transmission, other than this piece here for our high and low. So we're gonna pull our shift drum, and that's our problem. That is stuck fast.
Are you thinking broken or just gummed up and
I think
dirty?
it's just gummed up and rusted up. So what we're gonna wanna do, this is our main shaft. I'm seeing 0 broken pieces. Oh, that's not good.
Was that supposed to be like a spring at one point?
No, that's just like
Oh.
rope. And then the only thing left in the right side crankcase is gonna be our crankshaft. But we are going to pull the armature off that side. We gotta get some bearings ordered. We gotta get some seals ordered, some gaskets, clutch plates. That's gonna be a thing because our pressure plate. Oh, that's gross. Yeah, look at these clutch plates. So hopefully, oh geez, that's just all a solid brick of clutch plates. But at any rate, we need to get a parts list put together, and we need to start getting some things cleaned up here. Okay, so this project got a little out of hand a little quickly. I thought we were gonna clean some carburetors, throw some tires on it, yada yada, and we're gonna have a bike to go ride. But the goal hasn't changed. I wanna have this bike done. I need to get this stuff cleaned up. I need to get some parts ordered. That's the next step. I'm gonna go do that now. Have a great weekend. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Don't forget to like and subscribe. See you later.